Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the WD Broadcasting Network. We are back with the Leave the Pack Grand National Series tonight at the Phoenix Raceway, ready for 100 laps of action. They're qualifying right now before we send this field green. But this is going to be an exciting one. We had a good race last week at the Indianapolis Raceway Park. Brandon Elvis picked up the victory in the number 4 machine. Christian Peterson was second. Peterson in the session tonight, but he's not going to have as much practice as a lot of these other drivers, getting in very late. So hopefully he can have a good run. Look at the times. Right now, Connor Knowlton currently sits atop of the standings. He picked up the victory in week number 1 at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Missed last week, but we'll see what Hollingsworth can do. Lap number 1 across the stripe. Top of the board, a 26.549. He'll go to the top spot on lap number 1. We'll see if he can pick it up on lap 2. He heads down the back straightaway. It looked like he may have shut that car down off of 2. Dylan Connor in the 91 trying to improve. Currently 6th on the standings. And second time around, he will not improve. We've got a couple more drivers getting ready to qualify. Matt Borndren, one of those, in the 00 machine. Making his second and final lap. They've had some trouble on lap 1, didn't get a time in. And across the stripe that time, Borndren goes 9th quick. So 12 cars have taken time. Christian Peterson and Gavin Gardner. Gavin barely made it into the session with mere seconds to spare. So we should have 14 cars sending it green here tonight. Take a look at Phoenix here. One of the more unusual tracks that we've ever been to here in the Leave the Pack iRacing League. Obviously, if you're a NASCAR fan, you've seen the Phoenix Raceway before. We're running the newer configuration here on iRacing. These drivers are able to swoop down onto the dogleg and use up every inch of pavement there is. So we'll see if anybody does anything like that, does anything crazy, has a little bit of fun, especially on the restarts, if we are to have any. Let's meet our starting lineup. Carter Hollingsworth going to roll off from the top spot in the 28 machine. His outside, it'll be the number 2 of Connor Knowlton making his return. Let's see if he can go back-to-back in his 2 starts here in the Grand National Series. Shane Hodges in the number 10 back with the Grand National Series, going to roll off 3rd. To his outside, the 22 of John Lyday, going to start from the 4th spot. Adam Fulford Jr. in the 71. Hopefully he got all of his computer issues fixed. He starts from the 5th spot here tonight. And to his outside, Dylan Connor, the driver atop of the point standings right now, sitting in the 6th position. Trey Ashworth starts in the 7th spot here tonight. Then to his outside, it will be Dale Markowski in the 333 machine. Matt Borndren in the 00 going to roll off from the 9th position. And then to his outside, it's going to be Zach Murphy in the number 10, or in the number 29, starting 10th. Chris Shepard in the 19, going to start 11th. Austin Mongold making his first Leave the Pack iRacing League start. Going to start from the 12th position here tonight. And then back behind him, final row on the field, going to be Gavin Gardner, Christian Peterson. Hopefully Christian was able to make it to the grid. It looks like that 75 machine is on track, so we will have a full field of 14 cars set and ready to go here tonight. Carter Hollingsworth in the 28 machine, getting ready to bring this field to green. They're going to go straight out from the pits to the green. And through the restart zone they go. The field tightens up, and for the first time tonight, we are underway, and we are racing here at Phoenix. See the cars all fanning out below the apron. Carter Hollingsworth going to take the early lead down into turn number 1. Shane Hodges in the number 10 machine going to follow right behind him. He's going to try to take that second spot away from Connor Knowlton. Down the back straightaway, somebody all kinds of out of shape. Out of 2 that time. I think that was Chris Shepard in the 19. Actually, no, that was Zach Murphy in the 29 up in front of him. And they're 3 wide up off of 4, leader of lap number 1, going to be Carter Hollingsworth. Into the second spot, Shane Hodges trying to get clear of the 24 of Connor Knowlton, and it looks like he will be able to that time, but a little sideways up off of the corner. Hodges on the outside lane, going to give that spot back to Connor Knowlton, and once again, 3 wide for that final spot in the top 10. Chris Shepard in the 19 on the bottom. Christian Peterson in the 75 in the middle. Remember, he did not get any laps in practice here tonight, so that 75 machine is going to be learning as they go. We'll have to keep an eye and see if he can work his way to the front. Here comes a move to the inside. Don Lyday underneath Trey Ashworth there. Ashworth in the 8 machine trying to work his way forward. He's in the 7th spot. Up front, Connor Knowlton currently holds that second spot. He's putting some pressure on your race leader, Carter Hollingsworth. Man, you can see just how close the 24 car gets to Carter Hollingsworth on the entrance on the corner right there. Adam Fulford has worked his way up into the top 5, right here into the 4th spot. And oh, trouble back behind. Austin Mongold around in the 27 machine. I don't think they're going to get a caution. They will stay green for now. As up front, we've got a good battle for the 2nd spot. Carter Hollingsworth holds the race lead. Connor Knowlton holding the outside lane. Able to get out in front of Shane Hodges that time. Your front 4 have broken away. Dylan Connor patiently waiting in that 5th spot in the 91. This is a long race here at Phoenix, 100 laps. They're running 26-second laps. So a little bit longer race than we saw last week at the Indianapolis Raceway Park, as Trey Ashworth in the 8 machine back behind was a little sideways out of 2 that time. But like I said, a longer race, and they do have 2 sets of tires in the pits if they want to use them. I'm sure we will see drivers head down pit road at least once, likely twice. And now to the race lead, Connor Knowlton takes the top spot away from Carter Hollingsworth. Hollingsworth going to try to get that car down into the center of the corner, but Hollingsworth going to have to fall back into the 2nd spot for now. Give the top spot to Connor Knowlton. Shane Hodges in the 10, right up in front of Adam Fulford. Fulford had to swerve down to the bottom that time, take evasive action down to the bottom. John Lyday in the 12. He scored as a 22 on the left side of your screen, but it's supposed to be the 12 machine. On the outside of Adam Fulford, Gavin Gardner all kinds of sideways off of 2 that time. Held on to that one. But now we've got a battle for the 4th position. John Lyday up top. The outside lane looks pretty strong here early. And this is definitely going to be a battle of tire saving. I think we're going to see some long green flag runs. We've got 14 cars on the track, and they're already getting pretty spread out. We go out of turn number 4. You can see just how spread out your field is right there. Austin Mongold about 12 seconds back. Remember, he got a little sideways and spun off of 2. Now John Lyday in the 12 machine looked to the inside of Shane Hodges. And as soon as he looked to the inside, as Adam Fulford to his outside, and Fulford that time going to get a big run, and he will clear John Lyday. And now Lyday going to be into the clutches of Christian Peterson and Dylan Connor. They're going to split him 3 wide. And the 12 machine definitely fighting something in that race car these past couple laps. He's back a couple positions. I think he's going to try to settle that car back down, get back into rhythm. Field comes off of turn number 2, looking at the inside for a second. That's Adam Fulford in the 71. He could not quite get the run up off the corner that time, but he's been having good runs off of turn number 4, which has allowed him to get close to the 10 machine of Shane Hodges. Just has not been able to track him down and make that pass just yet. Hodges in the 10 machine. Try to keep that car tucked to the bottom. You can see he was a little bit loose off the corner that time. And that slight little bobble allows Adam Fulford to get a big run down the straightaway. Now he's going to maybe thinking about looking to the inside down into 1. Hodges is going to shut the door. Up front, the gap for the race lead stays right about a half a second. Carter Hollingsworth keeping Connor Knowlton within striking distance, but doesn't want to push that car too hard just yet. As now back behind your top 4, here comes Christian Peterson in the 75, and similar to what we saw last week, a very different line from that 75 machine. Remember, he started dead last at IRP last week, came up to 2nd. He started dead last here tonight. Can he drive through the field? Let's find out here as they're going to think about 3 wide. I don't think Peterson's going to be there, but here comes Shane Hodges back around the outside. Fulford looked low there. Hodges clear for the 3rd spot. Now Christian Peterson going to try to take 4th away from Adam Fulford. Peterson in the 75 making that outside lane work, and he's not really holding Adam Fulford tight. You can see he's really using that 2nd groove, maybe even 3rd groove down in 1 and 2. And he is able to take that spot, and he will set his sights on Shane Hodges. This time by lap 20 up on the board. We've got 80 to go. Christian Peterson in the 75, right behind Shane Hodges as they go down into turn number 3. Oh, Hodges in the 10 machine, sideways, and he's going to go for a slide. And not quite around. I don't think he hit anything necessarily, but that will put us under caution for the first time. Let's watch what happened here. Oh, and I think Christian Peterson just misjudged the gap a little bit. Got into the back bumper of Hodges. Hodges went around. Not all the way around, but around enough to bring out the caution flag. And now we've got some pit strategy. Christian Peterson going to be the first driver to bring him down pit road. Adam Fulford going to come down as well. We're likely going to see 4 tire stops here, if we see tires at all. The tires going up on the 71. He's going to take 4. Dylan Connor, it looked like, only took 2 that time. 4 tires for Fulford. Christian Peterson, who was involved in that last caution flag. Going to the rear after that one. And now Gavin Gardner, on the second time around, decides he wants to come down pit road, wants to get some fresh right side tires, probably all 4 on that race car. If I was a crew chief, I might have to send my driver down pit road, because we have seen 1 caution flag so far. It's been 22 laps. Connor Knowlton out front has held that race lead, and if you get tires now and try to put yourself ahead, if we have a longer green flag run, you might be able to have a lot of track position late. But we will find out what happens here as Gavin Gardner rejoins the field. And the lights are back off in the iRacing.com pace car. Connor Knowlton going to choose the inside lane this time. He will restart alongside Carter Hollingsworth. Field tightens up through turns 3 and 4. They wait for the restart zone. And through the restart zone they go. We are back underway. Connor Knowlton gets a good jump down into turns 1 and 2. He will lead Carter Hollingsworth. Now John Lyday and Shane Hodges battle side by side once again. Hodges back in the 3rd spot after a couple drivers pit. Not going to lose any ground after that caution, so Hodges right back into the 3rd position. He'll set his sights on Carter Hollingsworth and Connor Knowlton as Hollingsworth shoots way to the inside. He's going to have a run down underneath Connor Knowlton this time. They head down the back straightaway. Knowlton going to clear in the 24. Back behind, that's Trey Ashworth in the 8 machine up on the outside of the racetrack. Dylan Connor underneath. He's the first driver on tires at this moment. He only took 2 on the 91. Christian Peterson and others took 4. Dylan Connor to the inside, down into turns 3 and 4. They shoot down the front straightaway. That big run to the inside, it lets you gain a little bit of ground down the front straightaway, but sometimes it upsets the balance of that race car when you enter the corner, so you have to be careful when you go down there. This time by, we got 27 laps down. 33 laps to go. Austin Mongold, who was involved in that early spin that we saw down the back straightaway, we didn't get a caution for it. He was probably the happiest driver to see the caution flag, and no, it happened again, similar fashion. We didn't get a caution again either. As Austin Mongold gets that car back rolling, the field stays green. And man, if that wasn't a commentator's curse moment, I don't know what was. I'm sorry, Austin, if you're watching this back, but hopefully we get a caution here shortly, and he can tag the tail of the field and get another shot at things. Your top 5 single file. Gray Ashworth underneath Matt Borndren. Gliding up the racetrack a little bit. Looks like it's getting tough to hold that car down to the bottom in 1 and 2. As Borndren takes that spot away. Chris Shepard way down to the inside of the 19. He'll peek underneath Gray Ashworth and make it a 3-car battle. That's for 9th on the racetrack. Up front, Carter Hollingsworth in the 28 machine starting to see the number 10 machine of Shane Hodges a little bit bigger in his rear view mirror. John Lyday and Dylan Connor right there as well. And remember, Connor and Christian Peterson both have fresh tires, so they could be saving a little something here. We're only 33 laps in. We got a long way to go here at Phoenix. As here comes Dylan Connor to the inside of John Lyday. Connor does not get the run out of turn number 2. Going to have to slip back up into line. Lyday going to hang on to the 4th spot for now as he peeks to the outside of Shane Hodges. 35 laps in this time by. We've got 65 to go here at the Phoenix Raceway. Battle is on for the 5th spot. Christian Peterson right there in the 75. Tag the outside wall. He's closed the gap on these cars in the top 5. Remember, he has 4 tires that could play to his benefit when he tries to pass some of these drivers. As he looks to the inside of Dylan Connor in the 91. Peterson trying to keep that car tucked down to the bottom, but just loose up off the corner. It's very hard to get that car off the corner from the bottom lane. Connor Knowlton in the number 24 machine. Scored as the number 2 machine on the left side of your screen, but 24 on the car. Has a 1.2 second advantage. And Carter Hollingsworth having to fend off John Lyday here. Lyday in the 12 has been putting together some good laps. He's a little bit quicker than Connor Knowlton if he can get around Carter Hollingsworth. Hollingsworth down to the inside, trying to keep that 12 machine back behind him. Christian Peterson underneath Shane Hodges. Hodges gets the run off the corner. Man, looks really tough to pass on the inside down into 1 and 2 if you don't have a lot of position going in. You can see the 75 getting big runs through the back bumper of the 10. We'll see what he can do this time. He'll look up to the second groove in 1 and 2. Look at that, Christian Peterson around the outside. He'll have the run down the straightaway. He may have figured something out there in that corner. Remember, I said he did not have any practice. He's learning, as are the rest of these drivers, but Peterson doesn't have the laps that these drivers do here at Phoenix right now. They had a 30-minute practice session, and there was a lot of laps put down, a lot of rubber laid down on this racetrack. Hodges back to the inside. Peterson able to get the run on the outside. Hodges going to have to slam the door shut on Dylan Connor in the 91 so he didn't lose another spot right there. That outside lane definitely looks a little bit stronger here in the early portions of this race. Dylan Connor underneath Shane Hodges, trying to take that final spot in the top 5. Hodges way up the racetrack. Connor going to try to use every inch of space given. And looking at the lap times, last time around, John Lyday in the 12 was one of the faster cars on the racetrack, and that time it was actually Christian Peterson and Connor Knowlton. But Lyday in the 12, gonna have to keep an eye on that machine. He's closed the gap. He's had Carter Hollingsworth up in front of him, just has not quite been able to pass just yet. Knowlton's lead just about 2 seconds as we're 5 laps from halfway. We're watching the battle for the second spot. The 2 Trick Chassis cars trying to track down Carter Hollingsworth. You can see everybody starting to move up the racetrack, especially in 1 and 2. 3 and 4, they're still running the bottom for the most part as Lyday peeks to the inside. Hollingsworth going to be able to hold him off here, I think. But watch down into 1. Not even really trying to hit the bottom lane. But 3 cars, 3 different lines. Right there, Peterson and Lyday trying to get a run down the back straight. Lyday right there on the back bumper of Hollingsworth. Not able to get there this time. Peterson, even with those fresher tires not making that big of a difference early on in the race. I'm sure we will see drivers come down pit road and take tires if we do get another caution flag. We've got a battle for the 5th spot. Shane Hodges still trying to hold off Dylan Connor. Connor to the inside. Shane Hodges on the outside. Adam Fulford's right there as well, looking to throw his name into the mix. Connor up the racetrack a little bit, leaning on Shane Hodges through turns 1 and 2. And oh, Trey Ashworth in the 8 machine up into the wall. He held onto that race car, but going to lose quite a bit of time. We continue to watch that battle between Dylan Connor and Shane Hodges. Hodges on the outside lane, refusing to give up in the 10. As Trey Ashworth brings it down pit road in the number 8 machine, he may be calling it a night. Dylan Connor completes that pass on Shane Hodges, move Hodges back to 7th as Adam Fulford follows right along with Dylan Connor. But now, can Dylan Connor track down the 2 up in front of him, Christian Peterson and John Lyday? Those 2 battling for the 3rd spot. Peterson, the 75 on the inside, has the fresher tires, but only by about 20 laps. You can see Lyday on the top, holding him off. Up front, your race leader, Connor Knowlton, has checked out by 2.2 seconds over Carter Hollingsworth. The lap times are about even between the two. 27.65s for all of your top 3. Right now, Knowlton enjoying that gap of 2.3 seconds. Going to try to hang on to it until the end. This will be interesting, though, because Connor Knowlton in the 24, we got 57 laps in. He's got this 2.4 second advantage, but he does need to pit for fuel. They don't have enough gas to make it to the end of this 100-lapper. So the 24 would love to see a caution so he can come down, get tires, get fuel, and be good till the end of the race. John Lyday has held off Christian Peterson for the 3rd spot. Now Dylan Connor has tracked down the 75. He's going to look underneath for the 4th position. I don't think Christian Peterson going to put up too much of a fight, it looks like. Dylan Connor caught him in a hurry. And now that 91 machine going to try to work his way forward. John Lyday is closing the gap to Carter Hollingsworth in the 28. Hollingsworth, another driver that would love a caution flag. Lyday as well. Your top 3 all not good on fuel. They need to come to pit road to get some gas to be good for the end. We'll see if they can get a caution. If they can get a caution, I think they'll be fine. We've got 40 to go. So certainly everybody would come down to get tires. I don't think we'll see any of the drivers that took tires on lap 20 stay out. I think you have to have fresh tires on from here to the end of the race. Connor Knowlton, though, in the 24 machine, looks like he might be trying to back it off just a little bit, saving some of that race car. The gap is still 2.4 seconds. But Hollingsworth in the 28, a little bit quicker the last few laps. The driver that's been quicker than both of them, though, is the 91 machine of Dylan Connor. He's closing the gap. I've been watching the gap from him to Carter Hollingsworth. He has closed that tremendously. We'll see if he's able to get around John Lyday when he gets to him. Matt Vordren gets around Shane Hodges into turn number 1. Dale Markowski in the 76. Trying to get that car rotated, wasn't able to. Back to the 9th position. We've got 10 cars on the lead lap. We're watching the battle for second. Hollingsworth starting to lose more ground. 2.6 seconds the gap now. We got 35 to go. Laps are running out. And these drivers up front really need a caution flag. Anybody that has not came to pit road, there's 5 of them on the racetrack. Matt Vordren, Shane Hodges, the other drivers that have not came to pit road. There are definitely some drivers in need of a caution. Dylan Connor in the 91, patiently waiting behind John Lyday. I think he knows that these drivers in front of him are not good on fuel. He doesn't have to fight them too hard because they will have to come to pit road. But Adam Fulford's right there in the 71. He wants to take that 4th spot away. He's not content with patiently waiting. John Lyday right on the back bumper of Carter Hollingsworth that time. Adam Fulford as well, going to look to the inside of Dylan Connor. He's going to slide up in front of him here. And he will take that 4th spot away. Now battle for the 2nd spot. John Lyday putting the pressure on Carter Hollingsworth. I think Lyday can see the drivers behind getting a little bit closer to him. He wants to move forward. But Carter Hollingsworth doing a good job keeping that 28 machine in a groove where they can't get to his inside. They can't get a run on his outside either. Adam Fulford right there in the 71. Waiting for his chance to strike. Lyde's right there underneath Hollingsworth. I think he's going to have a shot this time. Adam Fulford with a big run down to the apron. He's going to look underneath John Lyde, but he'll have to check up. Glides that race car up the track. This time by 28 laps to go. 27 to go for Connor Knowlton. And the time is starting to run out for these top 3 drivers to get a caution flag. Now Adam Fulford gets around John Lyde. That is for the 3rd spot. Move the 71 onto the podium. And right now with the gap that Fulford has over Dylan Connor, he may be the favorite to win this one, assuming Connor Knowlton can't make it on fuel. We have 26 laps to go. And this time by Connor Knowlton down pit road. Carter Hollingsworth and John Lyde going to follow him. Matt Borndren down as well. Shane Hodges made his pit stop a couple laps ago. But the field going to have to come down and get tires. There was no caution flag. So that will hand the race lead over to Adam Fulford with 25 laps to go. And now the question is, can he hang on? Dylan Connor is about 0.8 of a second behind. That last time by, they were dead even on lap times. .23 to go. That last time around, Dylan Connor just about a 0.5 quicker than Adam Fulford. This is going to be a good race to the line. Been a tough night passing all race long. And Adam Fulford has 22 laps to try to hold off Dylan Connor and pick up his first victory in the Lead the Pack Grand National Series. Dale Markowski in the 76 up to the 3rd spot. .20 laps to go this time. Adam Fulford in his Lead the Pack iRacing career, or iRacing League career, he has 1 victory. He has 15 top 5 finishes. He's seen victory lane 1 time, and that was, I believe, the final race of the Lead the Pack Modified Series. He won at Lanier. And he would love nothing more than to put it in victory lane here tonight, especially after the computer troubles that he's had the past couple weeks. He's missed a couple races. Actually, looking back through the standings, I don't think he has made a start this season, and that is because of those connection issues. So Fulford in his first start of the season, what a story that would be if he could pick up the victory. Right now leads by a second over Dylan Connor. This time by, it will be 17 laps to go. $17 to go for Adam Fulford. We have 5 cars back on the lead lap. Dylan Connor is back behind him. The lap time's kind of going back and forth. One lap, Dylan Connor will be a little bit quicker. The next lap, it will be Adam Fulford. Fulford's just got to stay consistent, hit his marks here. He's got a good enough gap where he doesn't really have to push to try to grow that gap. He's just got to try to maintain it. This time by, 16 to go. John Lyday underneath Matt Borndren. That is for the 7th position on the racetrack. They are 1 lap down after having to pit for tires and fuel late into this race. A couple of the drivers risked the strategy to try and have tires for later in the race, and we did not get another caution, at least not yet. But everybody's watching the battle up front. The gap now, 0.5 of a second. Dylan Connor is eating into that gap a little bit. 14 laps to go. Fulford's going to have to try everything he can to keep that 91 machine at bay. This time by, 13 laps to go. Connor cut out a little bit more that time as well. Almost a 1/10 the difference that time. Now you can see that 91 using up that outside lane down the backstretch. Fulford down the front straightaway, 12 to go. The difference, 3.5 Dylan Connor closing the gap. Connor Knowlton's back behind him, getting ready to unlap himself. What kind of a mix-up could he pose? Because he's going to have a lot more pace than these guys up the front. He is going to catch these two. Will he play a role? 11 to go at the line. Better lap that time from Adam Fulford. This time by, it will be 10 laps to go. 10 more laps for Adam Fulford, trying to get the job done in his first start of the season and leave the Pack Grand National Series. The gap's still about 0.5 second. Adam Fulford starting to open it up a little bit more here. Dylan Connor may have given up, or given a little bit too much away there. Is now Connor Knowlton to the inside. He gets around Dylan Connor. Eight to go this time for Adam Fulford. Connor Knowlton trying to get that 24 machine back on the lead lap to give himself a chance in case we get another caution. But with 8 to go, time is running out. Seven to go this time for Fulford. And now Fulford's going to have Connor Knowlton up in front of him. How will that affect Adam Fulford's performance? He's going to have a little bit of dirty air for a couple laps. This time by either side by side down the back straightaway. And if you're Fulford, you just want to try to let Knowlton go without losing too much time. So you kind of lifted early there down into 3. He's going to tuck in behind right here. 6 to go for Adam Fulford. Now Knowlton right down in front of him. That's going to hurt the 71 machine a little bit. Here comes Dylan Connor. Fulford was loose that time out of turn number 2. 5 laps to go at the stripe. Adam Fulford trying to hold off Dylan Connor, but Connor giving a hard charge here at the end. He's given it everything he's got. Down into turn number 1. Fulford committed to that bottom lane, trying to get that car up off the corner, but you can see the 91 just gets a little bit better of a run, and he closes that gap down the straightaway. 4 to go this time for Fulford. Connor Knowlton has moved up ahead of him a little bit. He's taken some of that dirty air off of his nose. But the gap now close to the shortest it has been. 3 laps to go this time as they come around turns 3 and 4. Under 0.3 of a second separating your top 2. Fulford trying to mix up his lanes to stay in front of that 91 machine. He doesn't want to give him any clean air to get a run up off the corner. This time by for Adam Fulford. Popsicle sticks up in the air. 2 laps to go for the 71 machine. Trying to pick up victory number 1 here in the Lead the Pack Grand National Series. Connor a little bit quicker that last time around, but does he have enough left in the tank? Does he have anything left in the tank as they head down the back straightaway? Fulford gets a good run out of the corner, a little bit sideways down the back. The gap is under 0.2 of a second as they head into turns 3 and 4. White flag is out. Final time around here at Phoenix. Adam Fulford trying to hang on for his first victory in the series, but Dylan Connor is right there. Final time into 1. The 71's got to have a perfect run up off the corner. He doesn't want to give Dylan Connor any kind of opportunity. Down into turns 3 and 4 for the final time. What does Dylan Connor have left? He gives a big lunge, but up and out of turns 3 and 4, it's going to be Adam Fulford picking up the victory at Phoenix. Dylan Connor comes home second, Dale Markowski third, Chris Shepard fourth, Christian Peterson rounds out your top 5. And how about Adam Fulford in the 71 machine, getting it done here at the Phoenix Raceway. What a run. He and Dylan Connor pit at the same time. And they battled for what eventually would be the race lead once Knowlton and others had to pit. And that 71 machine going to turn it around here and park it on the front straightaway. How about that? Adam Fulford picks up the victory in his first start of the season in the Leave the Pack Grand National Series. We're going to grab a word from our top 3 in just a moment. Let me grab broadcast booth here. Let's try to grab Dale Markowski first. Dale Markowski, our third place finisher here tonight. It was a long race here at the Phoenix Raceway, but kept the tires on it. You were on the podium when it was all said and done. Tell me about your race.
Absolutely, yeah. Had a lot of fun tonight. Probably had back half of the top 10 car, if that. I saw that I was 4 to 5 laps short after that first caution, and I thought this group was clean enough to go green, so I just used the clutch a little bit to kind of save some fuel, and I felt like I could have gotten maybe in back half top 5, maybe with just straight pace. But once I started to figure things out, but overall, I had a good time. I really like this car, and just fuel saving. I know I wasn't the fastest wasn't the fastest driver, but fuel saving still part of strategy. So
Yeah, like you said, you don't always have to be the fastest car. You just have to execute the best. And you executed well, ended up with a third-place run here at Phoenix. Who do you have to thank for a top 3 with the Leave the Pack Grand National Series?
I gotta give a shout out to Matt Vorgen for getting me into this league and inviting me to it. It was his idea to join, and I just, I have a blast racing with him. He's a good buddy of mine. So, good shout out to my families. I think they're watching, or I'm going to send the broadcast booth later. And then shout out to Kevin Feemster for making the awesome Tostino's pizza scheme. We had a little side thing going with me, man, Kevin Feemster when he's able to run. We're all running frozen pizza schemes, I should say. So it was, it's a pretty cool paint scheme, so I was gotta give him a shout out as well. But I'm having fun so far, and thanks for having me in your league.
Yeah, thanks for running with us. It's fun to see the pizza cars on the racetrack. I like when drivers are able to have a little bit of fun with the logos on their cars, especially in an ARCA car when, like you said, we don't always run these NASCAR race cars. So it's fun to see a little bit of different paint schemes. Connor Knowlton's also got the JBL look-alike scheme, so very cool to see that on track. But congratulations to you, Dale, on a third-place run here tonight.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Alrighty, now we're going to talk to our second-place finisher here tonight. See if we can't grab Dylan Connor, get him up into the broadcast booth. Dylan Connor, second-place finisher here tonight. Man, so close to Adam Fulford there at the end. I think just maybe ran out of tire in those final couple laps.
Yeah, we were really good there at the end. I was able to run him back down, but I was really trying to conserve on the fuel side. I felt like I gave up too much track position trying to preserve that. I actually started sputtering coming to the line, so saved just enough and was able to bring home another solid top 5 tonight, and that'll help the points chase.
Yeah, always good in the points when you can consistently finish up in the top 5. You're leading points right now. When I looked at the gap, where were we at? You had 11 points on John Lyday. Lyday didn't have the best of runs here tonight, so you're going to gain a little bit there as well. But what's your secret here in these ARCA cars? Because it seems like every race we're seeing that 91 machine has got quite a bit of speed, and it looks like you're able to maintain it throughout the race.
Yes, sir. We honestly struggled a lot this race. We gained the positions we did off strategy, and it was a little off here tonight. But I think the main thing in these cars is just the tire fall off just seems, and the speed wise just seems to be really, really fast. So if you can find a good hold, don't matter if you're second, third, fifth, wherever, and just kind of preserve those tires for a while, it really seems to show up at the end.
Yeah, tires definitely mean a lot in these ARCA cars, and it's not necessarily the tire percentage. Like iRacing will tell you you have X percent left at the end of the race. It's not necessarily that. It's more the heat. You can't get those tires too hot, or you're going to have a handful there at the end of the race. But you always do a good job keeping the tires on it. Like you said, just maybe ran out of gas here tonight, or almost ran out of gas. It was a little bit tight there in those final couple laps, but still a great run for the 91 machine. Who do you got to thank for a podium?
Yeah, of course. I thank my dad spotting for me as always. I thank my main sponsor, Chris and Alan Purrier with Caldwell Banker Elite. All my family and friends for the support, and of course you for the great broadcast to give us something to go back and watch.
Yeah, it was a fun one here tonight. Only one caution here at Phoenix, and it ended up being a pretty good race despite the field being spread out. So, fun race here tonight. Congratulations to you, Dylan, on your second place run, and we wish you luck next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, now we will talk to the man of the hour, picking up his first victory in quite some time here in the Leave the Pack iRacing League. Up into the broadcast booth, our winner here tonight, Adam Fulford. You got a copy?
I got you, buddy.
All righty, well, what a performance from that 71 machine. We had that caution early, and a couple drivers decided not to come to pit road. You decided to come down pit road and get tires, get fuel. You ended up having enough fuel at the end. And tell me your thought process. What were you thinking those when you were tracking down Dylan Connor, did you want to put a lot of pressure on him? Were you trying to save? What was going through your head?
So I knew obviously me and Dylan were on the same strategy, but I also knew we had to declare those guys as quick as possible to make that strategy work. I mean, if a caution had come out, it'd have screwed all of it up. So I was trying to, one, get to the front in case a caution does come out, but two, at the same time, like you were sitting there saying, save fuel and stuff. He had to slip up, and I was like, I got to go, and got past Carter, got past Lide. Obviously, Connor hit at the same time with those guys. So that it's just trying to manage the gap, still trying to save when I could. When I pitted, I had saved about as much as I possibly could then, and for that, I was like, well, I got what I got, and I was watching the fuel the entire time. And when Connor sputtered, I think coming off of 4, or no, I'm sorry, going into 3, and then I sputtered right before I crossed start finish line. So then I had to just pop it neutral and clutch it in, and I was able to roll back to the start finish line, thankfully. But overall, pretty good race. Strategy was pretty fun. I couldn't have cut it no close because I'm out of fuel currently. But I got to give a huge thanks to my sponsors, Sunset Pest Control, LNA Tire and Auto, CarQuest and Supply, Quality Marine Welding, ECR, Coleman Designs for this rock and paint scheme as always. WD, I got to thank you for putting on this league and doing the broadcasting. Huge thanks to Murphy and Connor, especially Connor for sitting there running me clean. Wish Elvis and all those guys could have been here tonight, but they had some prior obligations. But yeah, it's nice to finally have a good week after the last 2 weeks of computer issues.
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier on. You told me you tackled the computer issues. We were hoping you could run with us the full way tonight, and this was the first race that you actually got to race in the Leave the Pack Gray National Series, and you picked up the victory. I was looking back through the archives, and your last victory, you've got one prior. This is your second victory in Leave the Pack. The last one came February 17th of 2025, so it's been over a year. You're out of gas now, but it's always it's always better to push that car back to victory lane as opposed to the garage, right?
Oh yeah, wholeheartedly. I couldn't agree more with that. This definitely helps a little bit after this past Saturday racing at Florence. Got to lead some laps and then didn't make the right adjustments, and ultimately my race suffered from that. So good to finally get some good luck for once, and hopefully we can carry it over. I think we're going to Hickory next week, so that should be a pretty fun place to race at. I know the last time we went there was a blast.
Yeah, definitely a fun track. We got to see the ARCA cars at Hickory when we raced the Gauntlet Series there, but we've got 150 laps next week. What are your keys, Adam, to 150 laps at Hickory? It's a tight quarter racetrack, a little bit different than what we saw at Phoenix here tonight.
Definitely save the right rear tire. Don't get too gritty on the gas, and then with that being said, probably save a little bit of fuel. Not too sure. I haven't made any laps there yet, but biggest thing is just not cooking the right rear tire, making sure you can still keep drive off and make sure you can keep it rotating. And then also just stay out of any and all trouble there. It's definitely a lot tighter track than Phoenix is, so things happen a lot quicker, and there's not a whole lot of room to avoid trouble. I had that earlier scare in the race. I thankfully I didn't have any damage from it, but at Hickory that could have been night over. So I just have to stay out of trouble, qualify good, and just run a good race, and hopefully the cars fall in our favor again.
Alrighty, well, congratulations to you, Adam, on your victory here tonight, and we wish you luck the rest of the season and at Hickory next week.
Appreciate it, Winston.
Yes, sir. Alrighty, that was your winner here this evening, Adam Fulford Jr., putting it back in victory lane in the Leave the Pack iRacing League. Second place tonight was Dylan Connor. Third was Dale Markowski. Chris Shepard came home fourth. Christian Peterson fifth. Connor Knowlton sixth. John Lide seventh. Matt Bordren eighth. Shane Hodges 9th, Zach Murphy 10th, Carter Hollingsworth 11th, Gavin Gardner 12th, Trey Ashworth 13th, and Austin Mongold rounds out the field in the 14th spot. So that will do it for us here tonight, folks. Remember, we've got Hickory next week, 150 laps there. That one's going to be a fun one. And then after that, we have got can't even remember my own schedule. Watkins Glen, the first road course in the Leave the Pack iRacing League history. That one's going to be a fun one. I hope we get a good car count for that. It's going to be fun watching these guys turn right and left, and it's going to be fun watching me try to broadcast these guys turning right and left. So tune in next couple of weeks for some fun racing here on the WD Broadcasting Network. Remember, we've got Trackmaster Sim Series on Thursday nights as well. So we'll see you guys in the future, but thank you guys for watching the WD Broadcasting Network. I am your host, Winston Deal, signing it off. We'll see you guys next week. Peace out.